Man, listen, YNW Melly's legal team is pulling no stops to get YNW Melly out of lockup. They've gone to the point where they've turned against his mama. They're that serious. I remember when the new lawyer came on board, his new attorney said, "We have some different strategies we're going to try." Well, we kind of see what it is. I don't know if it's going to work, but we got to see what it is. Welcome back to the channel, y'all. If you've never been here before, go ahead and hit that subscribe button. Click the bell next to the subscribe button so you are notified every time a new video goes up on BrainFLoTv. Let's talk about the YNW Melly situation. YNW Melly has been locked up for over 6 years now. And although he has had a trial, the trial was a mistrial, and he has still remained incarcerated. Now, in all fairness, the law says capital murder does not come with bond or bail unless under special circumstances. And those circumstances have to be extra special, which the judges do not think that YNW Melly qualifies for. So let's talk about what's been happening with YNW Melly's situation of lately, because YNW Melly's retrial is supposed to be in another few months, about another 3 months. And all of a sudden, they're trying to push it to 2026. It's like his trial is never going to happen. I think what his attorneys are trying to do is they're trying to use a stall tactic. Obstruction and stall. File a motion, obstruct it. File a motion, obstruct it. Stall it, stall it. And in the meantime, what's happening on the back end is time is building up. So we could look around and be like, damn, he's been locked up 5 years. He's been locked up 6 years. He's been locked up 10 years. By the time they get to he's been locked up 10 years without a conviction, the court system is going to be like, hey, man, you got to let this guy out. Throw this case out. And I think that's the tactic they're going for. So, according to the source and of lately, in the never-ending saga of YNW Melly's murder retrial because he had a trial before and now he got to be retried. So in the never-ending saga of YNW Melly's murder retrial, his legal team is seeking to delay the rapper's high-profile double murder retrial until 2026. On what grounds? Well, his legal team is arguing that his current physical and mental condition makes it nearly impossible for him to stand trial. What they're saying is YNW Melly done went crazy. He is not right in the head. He done lost his mind and his body is withering away. He has something going on physically and definitely got issues mentally. Y'all remember during his trial when he was like laughing in the trial and then he was waving in the air, wasn't waving to his family because they were in a different direction. He was looking like Elon Musk. Y'all ever seen Elon Musk in public or at the speech? Take, for instance, the last time Elon Musk was at the White House standing next to Donald Trump as Donald Trump was seated at the desk. And Elon started going through these motions, his eyes rolling around, him looking like he's trying to contain his spirit from jumping out of his body. YNW Melly been acting like that. And I don't know if it has something to do with his mental issues or if he has mental issues, but it was said a long time ago that he did have, I don't know if it's schizophrenia or bipolar disorder or whatever the case may be. He might be on medication on lockdown, and these medications are starting to manifest in different types of behavior, which makes it hard for him to stand trial. Now, I don't think the state is going to buy that, because he stood trial before and nobody did anything to him behind bars. So he could not have just lost his damn mind so much that he just suddenly cannot stand trial, especially when he was not diagnosed with anything. So his lawyers are saying his current physical and mental condition makes it nearly impossible for him to stand a trial. That part. Melly, YNW Melly, whose real name is Jamel Demons, he been locked up since 2019. Bruh, we're in 2025. And he's facing charges for the 2018 killing of his two close friends and fellow YNW Melly Collective members. YNW Sack Chaser, which name is Anthony Williams, and YNW Juve, which name is Christopher Thomas Jr. Both these people's family members have begged the court system to please do not let him out on bond. We know he's the one that did it. We know he's the one that did it because several things point to him. Now, that's them. They're going through their hurt and their pain, and they definitely do not want him out. Get this. Now his lawyers are arguing to the courts, right? So they're arguing to the courts to push back the proceedings another whole year. And they're pointing to the toll that 6 years behind bars has taken on YNW Melly. They claim that the extended isolation that he has been subjected to, his lawyers are claiming that, listen, it's best to push back this trial for a whole year. They're claiming that the extended isolation has took a toll on him, and the conditions he has been locked up in for the past 6 years has messed him up mentally to the point where he's just gone, physically, mentally unable to stand a trial. They claim that the extended isolation and the restrictive conditions have created a situation that is even more severe than what any death row inmate has to endure, and that YNW Melly is not in a fit state to fully participate in his own defense. Now, that's a serious accusation, because according to the law, you have to be fit physically, mentally, rather, to stand trial and participate in your own defense. I don't know if they're trying to get him put in a mental institution instead of a prison, because that could be of a lesser charge. I've seen them sentence people to a mental institution before, and instead of doing like the rest of their life in prison for the crime they committed, which was murder, they ended up getting sentenced to 20 years behind bars in a mental institution and not a prison, where they claim that they will get the best help needed because they're just that far gone. Now, they escaped life in prison. They did 20 years in a mental institution, and then they got free. So I don't know, but this looks like a kind of strategy that his attorneys are going after. What's the next best thing that they can do besides watching him get life in prison without possibility of parole or even the death penalty? Let's not forget, the death penalty is on the table. So a good attorney who really cares about not just the money they're getting paid, but cares about the client that they're representing, that good attorney is going to pull every rabbit out the hat. So, despite the defense's bold argument, Broward County Circuit Judge Martin Feen recently denied a separate request for them to release YNW Melly on bond. That decision followed what was called an Arthur hearing. They had an Arthur hearing. I'll explain to you what an Arthur hearing is. This is where both sides presented evidence and testimony after reviewing the case record. One side is going to say this is the reason he should be let out on bond, and another side is going to say this is the reason he should stay. We have all this evidence that he committed this crime for sure. He's a dangerous person. Do not let him out on bond. He can affect the outcome of this trial. He can obstruct it. Witnesses can disappear. He himself might disappear. You know, people can die. Anything can happen because he's a volatile individual. So one person is saying one thing, another side is going to say another thing. An Arthur hearing is basically a special hearing that is needed in order to grant bail in a special situation like capital murder, where there is actually no bail for capital murder. So they went to an Arthur hearing recently and he got denied bail. His defense team went to the Arthur hearing saying he is being held in subhuman conditions. He's being held in conditions that are worse than death row inmates and third world countries. He has somebody on him 24/7. He has absolutely no privacy. He has cameras on him. He has this, he has that. He has no movement. He is housed by himself. It's taking a toll on him mentally. He is not allowed to make phone calls or speak to his family. He is not allowed to have visitations or receive letters, communications from the outside. And these things are causing him to lose it behind bars. That's from the defense. The prosecution, their point was, don't let this dangerous person out. Let's take this to trial and keep him where he's at for now until we go to trial, right? Now, despite the defense's bold argument, all the judges who have heard this case have denied bail. All the judges who have looked over this case and have looked through all the proof that has been presented, all the evidence that has been presented by the prosecution, has found reason to deny bail. This court finds that the state's evidence, this is what the attorney said. You know, they're claiming that YNW Melly is trying to hold his head up behind bars, but the judge said that the prosecution's case against YNW Melly is very strong. These evidence are very compelling, and he has reason to believe that the state can prove that he is guilty, so he is not letting him out on bail. He said, this court finds that the state's evidence is arguably sufficient to convict and is not contradicted in a material respect, such that there is a substantial question of fact as to the guilt or innocence of the defendant. Play that back for yourself again. What the judge basically is saying is the state has enough material evidence here to convict, okay? And nobody is going to be able to argue that they didn't. This is what I'm looking at, so I can't let him out. Melly's attorneys even tried to propose a strict form of house arrest for him as an alternative, including electronic monitoring, full-time security posted up at his house. And they insisted that he posed no risk, noting that he does not even hold a passport, so he ain't running nowhere. Well, you know what? I think these judges know that the waterways, a lot of people, just like how illegal immigrants sneak into the country, it's the same way fugitives sneak out of the country. And they be chilling in some Mexico, Cuba, Jamaica, wherever it is. As a matter of fact, they have found some people who are wanted for murder in the United States of America hiding in Jamaica in the past couple of years. So it's very possible he could run for it, run for it, run. The retrial has already encountered numerous delays at this point due to a lot of legal challenges and arguments over admissible evidence. Melly's team, they like to file these motions and motions after motions after motions. And, they're filing a motion to suppress, a motion to dismiss, and the prosecution keeps having to file a motion to counter that motion, like a motion to keep that evidence in. So the court has not yet issued a decision on whether the request to delay this to 2026 will be granted, but if it is approved, the trial would be pushed back another whole year, further lengthening what has been an already prolonged period of detention for YNW Melly. Well, I don't think they're going to grant this because the judge actually said before that it's time to get the show on the road, right? Wrap it up. Let's get it knocked out and let's get it popping. So I don't think they're going to just push this back again another year and then we're saying, oh, he's been locked up 7 years and 8 years and no conviction. I think for sure this is going to be denied. However, it's gotten so many pushbacks, anything is possible. Judges have changed, prosecution has changed. It just keeps changing and changing. So we'll have to see what happens next, right? We'll keep you posted. End of the day, the most updated information concerning YNW Melly's trial is that YNW Melly's attorneys have filed a motion to have, or a request to have the judge push this case back to 2026 because they think that YNW Melly has lost his mind. And his mama said his team is not speaking to her and they don't want her to have anything to do with his defense because she went and spoke out against them to the public, to the media, recently. Jamie Demons, YNW Melly's mother, made a video saying his team is now mad at her because she spoke out against them. Because when he got denied bond recently, she didn't feel like they did enough. She didn't feel like they went hard enough for him. She didn't feel like they presented enough evidence for the judge to be able to say, okay, let's let him out on bond until his trial. Leave your comments in the comment section below. Tell me what you think about this one. I'll catch you on the next video. It's BrainFLoTv. I'm out. Peace.